Hello, Scrappy Peeps. Suzanna here today for Old Stories, New Ways, a collaboration that I do with my friend Sarah, and this is the layout that I am sharing with you. So in this collaboration, we are using old photos. So you can see I have three, I don't even know what size those are, small size photos that my mom has written on the back of. And I am using the Birthday Bash collection from Bella Blvd. So I won, I had this collection and then I won all of the bits and pieces, the entire collection. And so I want to use this to perk up these photos. So in the series, we are using newer collections for our heritage or vintage photos. So these photos are of my second birthday. There's actually, I am in the photo with the Wendy house, or that little doll. It's not even a doll playhouse, but there's no picture of me with my cake or a birthday hat or my birthday outfit, which is kind of funny. There's the cake that my mom made, my mom with the noodles for the mothers that came to the party, and then there's myself and my friends, but more really my friends with that playhouse. I'm sure there is somewhere a picture of me, but I don't have that, and so this is what I'm scrapping with. And you can see the photos are aged, of course. I am 51, and so they are at least 49 years old. And so I thought that by using this bright collection, I would sort of, as I said, perk up these photos. So I wanted this large number, and so I'm going to use my Ellie's Studio stamp. I love these number stamps. I've used them a lot in my December daily. I can see using them a lot in my memory planner too. So I used the stamp on one of the pieces of patterned paper. It's the Tone on Tone circles from the collection, and it just adds a nice pop of yellow to the collection there. So I've cut out two border strips from the striped paper, and I am going to put all of this, I've cut off an inch on each side, I believe. Is that right? I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure it's an inch on each side. And so I have this nice dark frame that just sort of pulls everything together. Unusual for me as well, I am also not scrapping on a white background. So it's just that sort of tone on tone. It's just a busy, it's not busy, but it's a background with some, let's just call it texture to it that just sort of livens things up a little bit. So I put that sticker strip at the bottom because the weight of all of the colors provided a lot of contrast and a heavier density to the top of the page, and I needed to balance that at the bottom. So if I had just left that white border strip, even though it has lots of colors, it doesn't have the same density as the strip at the top, so that blue just sort of pulled a little bit more weight to balance out the scale of the top and the bottom of the page there. So I know on that cake die cut that I had there that I wanted to put happy birthday, and I have a plethora of options here of happy birthday. And so I could have done chipboard, I could have done chipboard white, I could have done die cuts, I could have done stickers. I know literally a plethora of options. And so I went with the multicolored chipboard because that went with the multicolored candles that are on the top of the cake. And then I just cut out that blue birthday because again, it's weight, and you needed something with a strong contrast of weight to it, especially to that yellow there. So I want to be able to see the back of these photos. So just as I've done in other layouts for this series, I'm using photo corners again. I really need to find some colored photo corners, or I could stop being lazy and I could probably make my own photo corners. But just for ease, I am using these photo corners. That way you can pull off the photo and you can see what my mom has written on the back of the photos. What I also end up doing off camera is I do have in that bottom photo a hot pink Ellie's Studio label, and I'm going to add a little bit more detail to that. Currently, I'm pretty sure in the close-ups all you'll see is Hong Kong, but I want to put a little bit more. Who was at the party? and additional detail to the things that my mom had put on the cake. The beauty of this is that if I do come up with more photos of this event and or a photo, especially a photo of myself, I can make a companion page to this on the right hand side or the left hand side and add more photos with similar elements, because literally there's a ton of this collection. I love the bright colors. Those of you who know me know that I love the bright. Although lately I have been working with a lot of pastel-y sort of things. So it's chipboard. So I find chipboard always goes down best with liquid adhesive, and so that's what that is. And just constructing this cluster that I've put together loosely. And I don't know how much of this happens to all of you out there, but every time I build a cluster, when I actually adhere it down, it doesn't look quite the same, but close enough. So I put that chipboard balloon on the right hand side. I kind of wish that I had the pink one there instead of the chipboard, but I didn't want all of the chipboard on that left hand side of the page. And so I went with that red one, even though it sort of adds a little bit more drab, I'm going to say, to that top right corner. But I do plenty of other things that perk that up a little bit. So I have the candles, and I only put 2 because obviously it's my 2nd birthday. There are lots of other candles that are on that cake there, but I like the 2 dominant big ones, and they complement that too nicely. This is a trick that I use a lot. When I don't want all of the element to stick, I use my Ranger anti-static for some powder, and the powder takes off the adhesive, or it neutralizes the adhesive really, so that you can still lift those photos. And that's something that I have to be very mindful of when I'm creating these heritage pages. I like layers, and I really like to overlap things. I think it just sort of softens that grid and those boundaries. But it's much harder to do that when you want to be able to lift the photo to read what's written on the back of the photo. Another solution to that could be that I could actually photocopy and or scan and print in my mom's handwriting, but I really like the actual photo left intact and using the actual photo. I mean, there's so many of them, why duplicate them? So I wanted a little bit more sort of party on the page, and so you can see I've got those banners on the left hand side, and then I really wanted some more sort of big words over in that top right corner, ways of adding color, and you'll see how I get around that. So these banners say hooray, and in usual Suzanna fashion, I am the worst at centering things, and so it was going to go off the page, so I have to shift them over to the left-hand side over there and get them a little bit more centered. And again, that photo lifts up, right? So the banners will stay on the page, but you can still lift that photo there. So just for a little bit more contrast and to jazz this up a little bit, I'm going to tie some bows from some baker's twine. This is black and white baker's twine. And again, liquid adhesive is the best way to go with adhering those down on the page. And I love that texture of the actual texture, because what I called texture before wasn't texture. I just couldn't really find a word for it. So this is actual texture, and the danglies of the string. It's kind of like the falling confetti that you will see coming to the page. So on the right hand side of the screen there, you will see the puffy stickers. So lots of party confetti and presents and hats and fun celebration things. So I wanted to add more party, and so I am going to put a few more elements. I love how that blue star just kind of pops. I don't know, it ties together the top right and that bottom left down there. So I decide that I want a little bit more dimension because it's me and I like dimension. And so I put the birthday up on some foam. And now I'm adding the confetti to the page, and you can see how this just ties, totally brightens up that top right, and then ties the top of the page to the bottom. So again, this is part of a series. Sarah is also doing a really cool page with a photo of her dad at Christmas. I really love it, so be sure to check out her video. That'll be in the description, the link in the description box down below. If you have any questions or stuff you want to see us do with heritage photos, please don't hesitate to let us know too. Thanks for stopping in today. Come back again soon. Take care.